Palm trees. There we go. There's the recording. I was waiting for that. I can start over. I'm Richard Bliss. I can say the same joke. I'm not going to say it again. Okay. We're going to talk about LinkedIn today. During my presentations, they are very interactive. There's lots of questions. You're going to have a lot of questions. We are recording it. My AI is taking notes as well. And so there'll be a transcript available from that as well. But as I'm talking, I need you to interrupt me. I need you to stop and say, I got a question. What about this? What about that? We did something a little bit during the pre-call, but do not wait for the end or the Q&A because you're going to have more questions and then you're going to forget the previous questions. So interrupt me. I'm going to watch the chat and then Martina's going to watch the chat. And so again, that's another way that you can drop in and do that. Somebody, who's going to be? Don, you're going to be in Santa Cruz? It's probably going to be cold, wet, and rainy. We got thunderstorms. Very unusual. Okay, here we go. Let me share my screen because that's the thing we're here to do, and that is to watch a PowerPoint presentation on Zoom. That's what we love to do. We're going to talk about the new LinkedIn algorithm, and we've done some introductions about myself, but I'll do a quick reintroduction. Obviously, I'm Richard Bliss. I own a company here in Silicon Valley. I deal mostly with tech companies, and it's called Bliss Point Consulting. We're at our seventh. What year was this? Yeah, our seventh anniversary is coming up this month. I am one of LinkedIn's top voices. This is a invitation-only designation that 30 people every year receive from LinkedIn to say that you're special on their platform. I'm going to say that. They picked me as a number 8 in the world when it came to sales. And so some of what I'm going to talk to you today will have that sales bent because I do talk a lot about that. And then my book is called Digital First Leadership because you already know this. We meet each other online now. COVID changed everything. Where we meet each other online long before we meet people in person. You probably on this call are looking around knowing people who you've never met, and yet you've engaged with them so often. And so that's what that book's all about. My clientele is made up of tech companies. I call them the plumbing of the internet. Most of these you've never heard of. These are multi-billion-dollar, multinational tech companies, 5,000, 10,000 employees, that type of thing. That's what I do. That's my background and my experience. Now, here's something interesting. I spent 14 years in the Army as an artillery officer. I was a chemical weapons officer as a young second lieutenant, which means chemical weapons included nuclear weapons. And I had to have a security clearance to be able to train on that. And yet, I fail a security background check every time I go to work for one of these companies. They're like, no. I'm like, what's the problem? Oh, here's the problem. Here's the problem right here. These 4 pieces of information caused me to fail a security background check every single time. Why? Well, you know my name. I'm from Olympia, Washington. I lived in San Diego before I lived here, and I have a daughter there. And I have a brother named John. Now, none of that is private, little personal, but nothing private. And yet, it causes me to fail a security background check. Why? Well, because what would a security background check company do? Well, the first thing they'd do is see your previous residence, and they'd probably just Google you, Richard Bliss, San Diego. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I'd like someone on this call right now, anybody, just go ahead and Google Richard Bliss, San Diego, and you can drop it into the chat. You can come off mute. What's the first thing that pops up? And you don't have to read the details, but what's the gist of the first thing that pops up when you type in Richard Bliss, San Diego? I'm always interested to see what the results are. What's the first thing that pops up?
Instagram, bobble dog.
Really? Mm-hmm. So how about the Wikipedia entry?
Accused of spying leaves Russia.
Right. Richard Bliss is in 1997. So here's what everybody's looking at.
You were arrested.
Yeah. Now let's be clear. So here's what this says. I'm going to paraphrase it. 1997, Richard Bliss from Olympia, Washington is arrested in Russia on charges of espionage. And let's be clear. It was charges spying against Russia, not for Russia. I think that's an important clarification. Bill Clinton was president of the United States at the time. Madeleine Albright was Secretary of State. They had to get involved to temporarily release Richard from Russia to Olympia to spend Christmas with his family temporarily. Now, Richard was living in San Diego. He's in the tech industry. And in this Wikipedia entry, I think in the Los Angeles Times, the Seattle Times. I'm trying to remember what other papers picked it up. Richard's brother, John, the media went to his brother and said, what's going on? And John's like, my brother's not a spy. So everything in this Wikipedia entry is true, except there are 2 Richard Blisses from Olympia, Washington. Both of those Richard Blisses are living in San Diego. Both of those Richard Blisses are in the tech industry. And both of those Richard Blisses have a brother named John. One of them was arrested as a spy in Russia. The other one is supposedly here in California, although this is a virtual background and I am in a bunker somewhere that you can't find. No. I'm not a spy, right? There are 2 of us. And so here's why I bring this up. Yeah, thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Dean. Yeah, that's what a spy says. Yeah, you can trust me. I'm not a spy. The reason I bring this up is because in today's world, there are 3 forces driving our whole society. And the number one is that your identity, if you don't take control of it online, someone or something will take control of it for you. And in today's world, that something is now AI. AI, you know this. Right now, people are looking for who's the best speaker on this topic? Who's the best speaker in New England who has a background in this? Who's the best? Hey, they're not. I mean, they're Googling it, but they're getting an answer from the Google AI. They're also saying, help me find, I need a speaker, or I need an event, or I need AI. They're asking AI for this. And then what's happening then is that there's a disconnect between you and the planner, the event planner, because now there's your personal touch. They're not reaching out to your agent. They're not reaching out to, they're just looking you up, and Google or the AI engine is looking you up for them. And this is where it's finding it. And it's missing some of the nuance of who you are. And yet this gives you an advantage because LinkedIn is the number one source that the AI engines use to find information about you. And so that means you have a competitive advantage with your LinkedIn profile. Now, before we move forward, let's talk about other social media platforms. Excuse me, because I don't call LinkedIn a social media platform. Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook. How do they make money? Who can help me out here? How do they make money? Ads. I heard that. Somebody whispered it. Ads. Who's the customer on Facebook? Who's the customer?
We are.
I sit here all day.
Users.
Who's the customer? Users. Yeah, we're the customer because we all pay for our Facebook account, right? Anybody here pay for their Facebook account? No.
I do because I'm verified.
On Facebook?
Identity is verified on Facebook, so I pay $11.99 a month to have a little blue check by my name.
There you go. So you're paying for validation. So, but you're not necessarily paying for your Facebook. You're paying for your validation. Yeah. Right. So a customer is someone who pays another entity for services. So are users customers on Facebook? Who's paying Facebook all of that money?
Advertisers.
Advertisers are the customer on Facebook. Companies. And what are they paying the Facebook money to gain access to? What product or service are they trying to gain access to?
The masses, people.
The users, us. We're the product. They're the customer. The algorithm on Facebook, Insta, TikTok is designed to reward the customer, not the product. So the algorithms there are designed to distract you and I, enrage us, make us angry, break off relationships with our family so that we don't go back to Thanksgiving. It's designed to do that because it gives the customer maximum exposure to our eyeballs. Well, here's the thing. Only 20% of LinkedIn's revenue comes from advertising. Where does the other 80% of their $20 billion a year come from? How do they make money?
by us paying them for our premium accounts.
That's correct. By us, you, me, paying for premium, paying for LinkedIn Sales Navigator and LinkedIn Recruiter. Some of those companies I just showed you, they're paying $2 to $5 million for those tools, not to buy the data, but for the tools to use the features and functionality of LinkedIn. Now, if you're not using LinkedIn Premium, you're still a potential customer, which means LinkedIn's algorithm is designed to reward you as a potential customer or to reward those of us who are actually paying. And this means that the algorithm is very different. It's not designed to entertain us or distract us or enrage us. It's designed to connect us on a professional level to each other. It's designed to connect all of you together, to connect you to meeting planners, to speaker bureaus, to connect you to the people who need your services and have the money to pay for it. That's its goal. And the better it does that, the more happy we are to keep paying. That's where the money comes from. And so we're going to talk then today about how to master this, because they do it in a very odd way. And we were having this conversation, obviously, before we started, that it seems like it's broken. Everything you're doing doesn't work anymore. Well, that's because LinkedIn doesn't follow social media rules. It follows business media rules. Here's where it starts with. If you have a company page, anybody here have a company page? Yep, okay. If you have a company page, LinkedIn, when you post something on that company page, hang on, I'm gonna back up here. At some point in the next 5 minutes, you're gonna ask yourself, why in the blank are we on LinkedIn if this is the way it works? Okay, I'm just telling you, you're gonna have that thought. So hold that thought, because I'm gonna explain why you should be on LinkedIn, but we're gonna have some bad news to get there. Your company page, when you post content on it, LinkedIn does not show it to the followers of your company page. It shows it to 2%. What does that mean? That means for every 1,000 followers you have on your company page, 20 of those people see your company content. You need 1,000 new followers to get 20 new impressions on your company content. Why should I have a company page? You should, trust me. But we're not going to talk about that right now. But yes, so Gary's asking, should there be a company page and a personal page? That is not redundancy, and that is absolutely critical. You should have both. People aren't looking to connect with a company. They want to connect with people. That is correct, Gary. And so when somebody connects with you and they go and look at your company and they click on it and you don't have a company page, it goes nowhere. It's a broken link. So yes, each speaker, every person on this call should have a company page, even if it's not driving any traffic, because that's not the purpose of a company page as a lead driver. It's a validation when people find you and then they go see the company that you work for, the company you've established. It's validation. It's not lead generation. Now, a separate podcast page. Christine's asking that, a separate podcast page. Yeah, you could. Depends, but you could. I have a separate, we might take a look at mine. I have a separate page for my speaking. Do I have one for my podcast? I might. I can't remember. I'll have to go look. Okay, here is Troy, can a company page that doesn't post a lot be considered a detriment? All right. If you post a lot on your company page, what percentage of your audience is going to see that content? 2%. So it's not about the amount. It's if I found you as a speaker and I go look at your company page and it has 2 pieces of content there, then it kind of tells me that you don't really have anything to say. So fill it up, but you don't have to worry about frequency because nobody's looking at it. It's more about a landing page for validation when people do end up there. So fill it up, videos and content, all kinds of stuff. Fill it up so that when somebody gets there, they see validation. Marty, you're welcome. I'm glad that you like the slide. I've been on it too long. Let's move to the next one. Because personal content is handled very differently. When you post something on your personal page, LinkedIn does not show it to the followers, your followers and connections. It shows it to a 10% test group. 10%, which is so much better than a company page. But if 10% of your audience is seeing it. What percentage of your audience isn't seeing your content? The math's easy on this one.
90%.
Thank you. There we go. I thought I was going to be here all day. 90% of the people you're connected to don't see your content. LinkedIn hides it. Again, that seems so counter. Remember I said in about 5 minutes, you're going to say, wait a minute, why are we even on LinkedIn? And I'm going to answer Jeff's question because I love the fact that they're coming in. Can you repost personal content on your personal page to fill it up? Absolutely. That's a great way of doing it. Makes it easy. Because your personal content's flooding and flowing and people might see it, but on the company page, it's just going to sit there. So that's great. Okay, yes, 10%. Now, why is LinkedIn only showing it to 10%? Because it's trying to answer 2 questions. When you make that post, it wants to know, did you trigger a conversation? And are you a credible voice? And that's what it's trying to ask. So it's doing it by using a test group of 10% to determine if you are, did you trigger a conversation? Now let's come back to what was talked about, the 2025 crash. Most of you, many of you, some of you saw a drop in impressions of like 50 to 80%. Suddenly it just dried up. It went away. And that's because LinkedIn completely reworked their algorithm. And now it used to be broken. Now, this is going to sound counterintuitive, but hang in with me. LinkedIn used to be broken and it showed your content to a lot of irrelevant people. And they fixed it. And now they show your content to relevant people. And I know that's like, no. I really liked it when they showed it to a lot of people because I got to see all those impressions and it made me feel good. And they're like, well, yeah, but those were all irrelevant to your content. We're just now going to focus your content on a relevant audience that finds you credible. Okay. So that's an interesting approach. So now that means there's some caveats here. And that is, you only get one conversation at a time. That means you get one post a day. Don't post more often than once a day. There's always outliers around this, but generally speaking, LinkedIn's going to track and measure and test one conversation at a time. So you get one post a day. Most of you don't have this problem. Most of you are not posting multiple times a day. Christine's asking a question. If someone tags you, should you reshare it? Well, let me answer that question in the next slide. Because here's what's impacting a conversation. A link in your post can impact the conversation by about 50%, reduce the reach. This is why you see people say, look for the link in the comments below. They're bypassing the penalty. LinkedIn's kind of onto that now. And if you put the link in the comments, they notice that too. Here's what I suggest you do. If you have a link, you absolutely have a link, then you need to drive someone off the LinkedIn platform. Then make the post go live without the link. Immediately click the 3 dots in the upper right-hand corner, click edit, paste the link, click save. Boom, you're done. Now LinkedIn's they don't come back and check to see if you added the link. So that's how I recommend that you add a link to a post if you want to avoid the penalty. Now, there's sometimes, particularly in sales, you don't mind the penalty. You want the link included there. Okay. And then Christine just asked, should you reshare it? If someone tags you, should you reshare it? Well, guess what happens when you reshare a post? It goes to 1% of your audience. 1%. If you have 500 connections, 5 people see that repost. 5 people. You know what I'm talking about, the repost, right? You're like, oh, hey, this is really good. I want to share this with my audience. Repost, and off it goes. Yeah, off it went to 1%. So Christine's question is, if you get tagged, should you reshare it? You can reshare it. It's just going to go to nobody. So it's like, oh, well, maybe there's something else you should do instead. I'm going to pause here because this generally generates a lot of questions. So I love the questions in the chat. Let's come off of mute. What questions have I generated for you at this point?
I do have another one. This is Christine. So some people will share that there's an open position in their company, and hey, I'm sharing this with my network, a great opportunity. Is that the same thing, only going to 1%?
That is correct. It is not going to your network. It's going to 10 people out of every 1,000.
So now, if I have a post that many other people do reshare, does that seems like that's like the grand poopah if people reshare your post, but does that make your post better, but they still don't get it to their network?
Excellent observation. So the answer is yes. And let's dive into that a little bit. I've got to believe that on this call, most of you have common connections. Would that be accurate? I'm just saying, yeah, okay. Now, Christine's going to make a post. We're all going to reshare it. If it went to all of our connections, what would happen to our common connections, the feed of our common connections? They would see 1,000 copies of the same post. Boom, 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 boom. And LinkedIn's like, that's not good for one of our paying customers. We know what you're trying to do. We're just going to let you think you're doing it, and we're just not going to show it to anybody. And so that's what's going on with the repost. Now, to answer Christine's question, if we all reshared Christine's post, it's not going to our network, but does it benefit her post? Actually, it does. LinkedIn sees what we want to do. It's not going to do it, but it sees our intent. And so it boosts the post. It's not the grand poobah, but it is a strong signal that this was interesting enough. I wanted to share it with my network.
So it boosts, I'm sorry, Richard, just to clarify, it boosts the original post from the original poster, not your post.
That is correct. It boosts the original. So in this case, Christine's made the post. We all reshare it. It goes to 1% of our audience, but Christine's post is going to be seen by more people because LinkedIn's like, wow, look at all these people who wanted to share it. We're not going to share it to their groups, but we are going to boost the overall reach of this post in general. Is that clear? Am I clarifying?
Yeah, this is all such great information. Thank you, Richard. Can I also just add one little caveat to
you're
this?
Done. You've used your quota. Who's next? Sure.
One comment today.
One comment today. No, Christine, go ahead. What's your question?
I do want to just say this and hear what you have to say about it. Even if it doesn't go to your network, when I do that, I do it to be kind to my clients or my potential clients or my network and try to help them. So when they see I shared their post, I know one, it's going to help them accelerate their own original post. And I want them to see I'm an advocate of them. So I do think that it's a good idea still, but it's good to know that no one's seeing it.
No one's seeing it except for the person who you're reposting for.
Got it. Yeah.
Now we're going to talk about that a little bit, about that behavior and what you're doing and kind of what's happening on the background. But that's an excellent point. Other questions or comments from people?
Richard, if I may ask a question, please. I like your comments about the business page. But when I went to I had this issue with my page as well. When I went to your LinkedIn page and hit Bliss Point, all it did was took me down to your experiences. How does anyone actually get, as an outsider, to the business page?
Okay, so when you clicked it at the top, it took you to and now there's a logo right next to my Bliss Point work experience. Click that.
So I hit Bliss Point Consulting and it takes me down to the experiences.
And then next to experiences, you'll see the logo of Bliss Point Consulting. You click that button.
Conference speaker or motivational speaker, you mean, is it?
No, you can do the conference speaker. That's a different page.
My point basically is I'm not sure whether I've never really gone to anyone else's business page because it really only takes you down to what's further down the page. So do people let me demonstrate business pages?
Let me demonstrate because there's one step that's going on here. Let me just pull mine up and we'll do a quick demo. Let me just share my screen. I lost everybody. Oh, here we go. Got too many windows open. Let me just demonstrate what you're saying. So here we are. And tell you what, so what he's saying is that if you click on, oh, hang on, too many windows. So on my profile, there's Bliss Point. And if you click on Bliss Point, go away. How come I can't make that go away?
Right there.
Get out of the way. whatever. You guys can see Bliss Point right here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Click on it. My LinkedIn is, come on, LinkedIn. What's going on here? All right, let's try somebody else's LinkedIn. I was looking up Aaron there. We're going to do Richard Bliss again. We're going to do me. Aaron, you saw me stalking you.
It's Microsoft technology. You don't expect it to work properly the first or second or third or fourth time.
None of this is Microsoft. This is Apple and Google. So maybe that's what it is. Okay, we're going to click here. Whatever. It's going to take you down here to my work history.
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about. If you click there, it now goes to my company page. View as a member. And it looks like this. If we back up and we click on my Richard Bliss professional speaker, it takes you to my speaking page. That looks like this. And so each one of those, yes, at the top, if you click that top one, it'll take you to my work experience. Now, of my work experience, which one of my company pages do you want to actually see? So if you click here, it'll take you to Just Connecting. If you click here, it'll take you to Veeam. So this is where that click happens. Connor, does that make sense?
It does indeed. It's news to me. Yeah, but I like it. Yeah.
There you go.
But my point is, I don't know if many people actually appreciate that. I think it could have benefits all right from an SEO point of view or AI. But I like it and I will work on it. Thank you.
Yeah. No, speaker bureaus look at it.
I use it. I go to people's because I go to look at their profile and then I look where they are and then I click through to get their link to their website and then I'll go to their website from there.
Yep. So it's a trail of breadcrumbs. And this is just one that if you have gray boxes here, that means it's a broken link and you don't have a company, the page hasn't been set up. Okay. I see a lot of hands. I'm going to start in the upper left-hand corner of my, so I'm going to start with Jeff Rogers. Jeff, what you got?
Yeah. So in terms of posting, reposting, podcasts are obviously like that just seems fraught with failure because it's an external link and you're reposting from the original person's or wherever the podcast was that you were on. So it's I feel like you're going back in time and you're erasing your visibility.
Spot on. Because LinkedIn's like, we're not a dumping ground for you just to announce your podcast. We are a place where you network to have a conversation. So what's the conversation? Or are you just going to use us as a free blast to get people to go to your podcast? That's exactly right. And so it'll work if you can start a conversation. But what you're saying is, no, I don't want to start a conversation. I just want to drop in a link and have everybody go to my podcast. And LinkedIn's like, okay, put it on Twitter because that's not our purpose. And so so we're going to talk about how to change that approach. So Jeff, that's an excellent question. We're going to talk about that in just a second. Who do we got next? Next I have, who else has got their hand up? Anybody? I saw more hands. Anybody else?
Jan Costner has her hand up.
Jan, go for it.
Good morning, everybody. I think I figured it out when you were talking about the penalty. It's when you're putting an outside link to get them off of LinkedIn to come to you. Then do they start like not even showing you at all in anything that you post? Or I just want to understand what the penalty is.
So the penalty for including a link?
Or any penalties that they have.
It reduces the number of people who see that in the test group.
Okay.
So it just starts shrinking the number of people who see your content. That's the penalty.
Okay. So basically they're trying to get you to pay.
No.
Oh.
No. They're trying to get you to create content that is relevant to their platform where people stay and have a conversation with you on that topic.
Oh, okay.
So a link drives them to a Forbes article or to a podcast or to a website. And they're like, that's not useful for our platform where people come to do business and talk to each other.
So is that penalty just for that post alone? Or is that like a penalty that sticks with you?
Nope, just for that post alone.
Richard, Laura had a question that I'm also wondering about on the difference of a post versus a newsletter article in LinkedIn.
Sure. We can, I'll talk about that in just a minute, but let me just address it because the questions come up now. Posts, we all know what posts are. These are these simple, easy, fast moving posts that we make, right? Our feed. Articles are long form content, 800 words. You can format it with images and graphics and all kinds of stuff. Kind of a blog platform. In the past, and I'm going to refer to this here in a little bit, in the past, long form articles received zero promotion from LinkedIn. Zero. That was last year. This year, with the new AI engine, they have become phenomenally powerful. So an article of 800 words where you dive deep into your subject matter expertise, increasing your credibility. The humans read it, but the AI engine reads it and says, wow, this person really knows their stuff. Look at this really in-depth article on this content. And so while your posts are fast and quick, those articles stick around forever. Okay? And then the next question on that one is, well, what's the difference between an article and a newsletter? Articles are just standalone. You put them on there, they're going to sit on your profile. Newsletters are the distribution of your articles to your audience. That's the difference. Now, if you have a newsletter, all of you can have a newsletter, and you all should have a newsletter. Every time somebody connects with you or tries to, they will be asked by LinkedIn, would you like to subscribe to John's newsletter? Yes or no? So I have 67,000 people who subscribe to my LinkedIn newsletter. I don't have any of their email addresses. Okay. But you know how many people I had to ask to subscribe to that? Zero. Not a single one of those people did I ask. And now I send out a newsletter. I did last week. Let's see, Good Friday. I sent one out on a Good Friday, right? I got a 30% open rate for a newsletter. It was viewed 65,000 times. It was like, wow, I sent it out on a holiday weekend. That was pretty amazing. So those newsletters are powerful, and you should all be starting to use them. Are there questions I can clarify about newsletters, articles, posts? Because that was a great question.
Are links that are on newsletters treated the same as links that take away from LinkedIn?
Nope. So your link in a newsletter, a video, a link, images, pictures, anything you want. Nope. It's not having any negative impact on the algorithm.
So for the concept of consistency and getting information across so more readership occurs, would you suggest like a monthly newsletter with weekly articles, 4 articles showing up in that newsletter and maybe a video clip?
Well, you said monthly newsletter and 4 articles. That's actually a weekly newsletter. Oh, well, hang on. I see what you're saying. My argument is, if you're going to write an article, make it a newsletter. Just unless it's off topic, unless it's off not what your newsletter. So you could put your newsletter out once a month on your specific topic, and then you could write some articles. But we're going to talk about where you might want to be careful with that, because LinkedIn has changed the way they approach that.
So what I was wondering is, if I do an article once a week, and at the end of every month I have links to those 4 articles in the newsletter,
you could do that.
Would that help the algorithm or no?
Yeah, that would help. Yeah, you could do that. I like that idea. Yeah, it sounds like a lot of work, but I like the idea.
Yeah, but I write fast.
There you go. So does my Claude. Okay, Marty, you got your hand up.
Yes, I do. When you publish your newsletter and say you have 20 or 30,000 subscribed to it, how many people actually receive that in their inbox, in their email? You got a very impressive 30% open rate.
So tell you what, let's just, now that we're asking, since we're on this topic and I don't have slides for this because we're way off topic, we're going to swing this one. Let's go back to my LinkedIn and let's see if LinkedIn's cooperating this time. And we're going to go look at my latest newsletter. Here's my latest one that went out on Good Friday. I was hesitant to send it because I forgot it was Easter and this looked blasphemous. So I was like, oh no, but here we go. So here's my newsletter. This is the issue that went on Friday. What happened when I asked Claude AI to be an atheist and analyze Genesis? It was pretty fascinating. So off it went. And so now let's take a look at the stats of this newsletter article that went out. So it got just shy of 63,000 impressions. I did a test and I ran an ad to actually boost it. Well, that just brought me 1,400 impressions. So it was like, okay, it was a little test. Members reached nearly 50,000 members. That means 50,000 people saw it, and some of them saw it multiple times, which is why the impressions were higher than the members reached. It caused 70 people to look at my profile. It caused 13 people to follow me. And of the 36,000 emails it sent out, this answers your question, that showed up in people's inboxes, 31% of those 36,000 opened it. Okay. And so then I got reactions, I got comments, I got reposts, I got saves, and I got sends. So this kind of gives you an idea of the statistic. I think I'm answering the question, right?
Yes, you are. And there's one other part to that question. I noticed that there's a real intentional strategy by many on their email newsletters to send a little bit out there and then send a link back to their LinkedIn newsletter. Click here if you want to read the rest. That seems to be a pretty smart strategy. What do you think?
It's smart if people click on it. And yet my argument is you should put the best content out there before people click the link so that they say, this is really good. This is so good. I need to see more. And also the AI engine is going to read it. The AI engine is going to go to click the link. But if it's pointing to your LinkedIn newsletter, yeah, you can go back and reference that. But just be aware that anytime you take people are having a conversation or looking at your content right there. If you start sending them other places, you start to lose your audience. So have the conversation where the audience is right there. I don't know if I'm actually answering.
Yeah, so if you have a personal newsletter that goes from your email engine, not to put a link to the newsletter.
Okay.
They like Ann Hanley, they put a portion of their content in their email newsletter, and then they click to LinkedIn. You want more? It's a little frustrating, candidly, a little frustrating. It's like, why don't you give it to me all where I want it?
That's right. Why don't you give it to me all where I want it? And that frustration is not imagined. It is a friction point. So yes, it's a little bit of a cool strategy, but it's still a friction point that you're identifying. That's like, I don't, just give it to me. I'm already here. So yes. But it is a strategy you can use, driving people to your LinkedIn newsletter on LinkedIn through an email and blast newsletter. You could do that.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Troy.
I'm more...
Or next. Whoever's next. No, go for it. CJ?
Well, I didn't realize people had electronic hands up. Sorry.
You're fine. You've got the floor. You're talking.
My confusion is... You're talking about the newsletter and the articles as separate items, and yet they can be together. And it sounds like if you send out a newsletter that has an article in it, that's probably a better choice. But where does it get stored?
So hang on. A newsletter is simply the distribution of your articles.
Oh, okay.
A newsletter is the distribution of your articles. That's all it is. And the articles and newsletter are stored on your LinkedIn profile. Just like I showed, just now when we went to my profile, there it was right there. It's stored right there on my profile. So anybody can find it. Troy.
It's a two-part question, or actually two kind of separate questions. Number one, what is the ideal length of a newsletter? And number two, I had heard somewhere that don't start doing a newsletter until you get at least 5,000 followers, because you get that initial push where it sends it out to everybody, and you don't want to waste that initial push when you'll only have a small follower count.
Okay, that's a piece of advice that, if I'm sitting at 1,200 followers and you're telling me I've got to wait to get to 5,000 before I start telling people about, it's like, right? It's kind of that ROI balance. So you could, but I don't know. I think that you just should start, because the important part is starting, and then have that newsletter and the content being created but if you're sitting at 4,500, okay, you got to get 500 more people to follow you before you create your newsletter. All right. You can do that. That's going to be a personal decision on your part of whether you want the content now or do you want to wait for that push.
What's the ideal length?
800 words.
800 words. Thanks.
And that's not the ideal length for a LinkedIn article. That's the ideal length for blog articles. If you go to Forbes, I've written on Forbes before, 800 words. It just kind of seems to be the sweet spot. You can push it to 1,200, but I don't know about you, but whenever I read The Atlantic, I'm thinking, dang, how many words did you put in this thing?
Yeah,
so, yeah, it's just like, get to the point. There we go. Other comments? Go
Richard,
ahead.
Just a quick clarification, article newsletter. When I go to my LinkedIn, it says, when I'm getting ready to post, write an article. So I'm not going to do anything to have a newsletter. I'm just going to write an article. And you're saying that article gets distributed a newsletter, or is there something else I click to do a newsletter?
There's something else you click to actually create a newsletter. I do believe, let me just look here real quick. And I will show my screen. I'm trying to remember where it is. Somewhere you click, I can't remember, and it says create a newsletter.
Okay. It's under manage.
Under manage?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So create a newsletter.
Great.
And then
Thank you.
when you go to read the article, when you write the article, it'll say, do you want to distribute this as an article or as a newsletter?
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep. You're welcome. Yeah. Okay. Lynn.
When I've done newsletters, I've also then posted links to the newsletter in LinkedIn groups. How relevant are LinkedIn groups?
LinkedIn groups have no impact on the algorithm. They're a walled off garden. You can drop it into that group, but nothing that goes on in that group is going to reflect in your feed or your network or your connections. So the only people who are going to see it are people who go to the group and see it. Groups on LinkedIn can be effective, but most of the time they're not, because most of us don't go and look, and most of it's just promotional. But you can drop it in. It's not going to have any impact whatsoever on the algorithm at all. Zero. It's like a walled garden. It's over there and nobody pays attention.
Okay, thank you.
Christine, you've used up your quota.
I know I have.
Go
That's
for
why
it.
you're so good.
Oh, no, or I'm so confusing that I'm just causing people to ask a lot of questions. Go ahead. What do you got?
Well, I do just want to absolutely clarify. So if I do an email newsletter every week, I should then make it also a LinkedIn newsletter. Just take the content I'm doing there and put it into LinkedIn one.
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, or you could do what somebody suggested, maybe John suggested, that you could then do one newsletter on LinkedIn that takes all 4 of your monthly newsletters,
right,
and consolidates it and says, these are the most popular newsletters columns I had this month, right? So you can either do it every week on LinkedIn, or you could do it once a month on LinkedIn and then do a summary of all of the articles there. So just how you do that is up to you.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Did I miss anybody? All right. If I did, shout it out. Because when Martina called me yesterday, and I'm like, how much time do I have? And she's like, well, you got, right, what'd you say? 9:10 to 11. I'm like, 9:10, 11. How much time is that? An hour? I have to take an hour? She's like, no, about 2 hours. 2 hours? How am I going to fill up 2 hours? Holy cow. I don't know. How long have we been going now? We haven't even gotten a quarter of the way through, but the good news is we got to answer lots of questions. What also impacts a conversation on LinkedIn? Posting and ghosting. Well, what does that mean? Posting and ghosting means that you made a post on LinkedIn, you triggered a conversation, and you didn't bother to respond to any of those comments. You just walked away, ghosted them. Because LinkedIn watches now your behavior around your own content and the comments that are being made. You started a conversation. You got somebody to comment. Did you respond to them? No? Then why should we show this to anybody else if you're just going to use this as a dumping ground and not even show up? So posting and ghosting is another way to impact negatively your conversation. That one's pretty straightforward. When should you respond? Yeah, pretty much when the comment happens, generally within the first hour or two. And yet there's one big conversation killer more than anything. Here's a question I have for you. Your spouse has sent you to the grocery store to get eggs. So they text you. Hey, did you get the eggs? What's your response in a text? How do you respond to them? But yeah, I got the eggs. What do you do? Help me out. You can drop it into the chat or just tell me. What do you do?
Yes, Martina? I got him. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. There we go. Thumbs up. Or post an egg emoji. Dave, I don't even know how to do that. So thumbs up. Because what does a thumbs up mean? It means I'm done. Stop talking to me. I got it. I'm done. Your kids, they're out. Are you going to make it home for curfew? Thumbs up, Dad. It's like, The thumbs up is the universal sign that we now use to say the conversation's over. I got it. No more talking necessary. Thumbs up, right? Or you could ghost somebody, but then they're waiting for that thumbs up. Which means on LinkedIn, when you give somebody that thumbs up, you're basically saying, yeah, I didn't really find this interesting. I'm done with this conversation. I'm just going to give you the universal thumb and say, I'm done. It's the least valuable, laziest, simplest conversation killer out there. I mean, think about it. We're standing around talking at a networking event at the Illinois NSA Chicago in-person event. And you say something, blah, 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 blah. And I leave a comment. Hey, that's an interesting comment. I had a question. What about this? And you stick your thumb in my face. Like, okay, but what about this? Thumb. Oh, okay. I really appreciate that. Thumb. In real life, that gets really irritating really fast. We think we're taking steps to let the person see we saw it and we valued it. And in reality, we're telling the algorithm, yeah, I saw it, but I didn't really find it valuable, because if I had found it valuable, I would have stopped and participated in the conversation with this person, but I'm too busy, so I'm just going to walk by and give him the universal finger, thumb. Right? There you go. So be aware there's an impact of you just randomly liking content out there because you just want people to see that you saw it. And it has a detrimental impact on your LinkedIn. And I'm going to explain why in just a second. Yeah, Jeff, stop thumbs upping people. There we go. Now, before last year, LinkedIn did a scoring system. Every time you gave somebody a thumbs up, they gave they gave the post 1 point of value because that was useless. So it's like, yeah. Every time you reshared a post, they gave the post 10 points of value. This comes back to boosting. Unless, of course, you left your own thoughts. If you hit the reshare button and left your own thoughts, LinkedIn's like, oh, you just wanted to steal somebody else's conversation and then start a conversation where there's nobody listening. We're only going to give it 3 points of value. So when you hit your own thoughts, you're actually not benefiting. And oh, by the way, that's your one post for the day. Because if you really have something to say, you need to leave it as a comment. And so LinkedIn would give 15 points of value to the comments that were being left. And this is why you got pods coming together and a whole bunch of people comment parties and let's go comment and drive up the scoring. Dwell time is still important. How long did people spend on the post? And then the last one is velocity, which is also still kind of important. How quickly did all of this happen? But here's really what changed is LinkedIn stopped ranking your posts. It now evaluates you. This is a big difference. And this is why your content has dropped, is because LinkedIn's no longer looking at the number of likes and comments and reshares you got. It's reading the room. And the first thing it's doing is it's assigning its own AI senior consultant to read your post. And this professional is reading it and they know your business as well as you do. Whatever topic you're a professional speaker on, they know that topic as well as you do because they're an AI engine. They know the topic. And so they're going to evaluate it and they're going to ask 3 questions. Who are you really? What do you consistently talk about? And is this piece of content worth interrupting somebody's day by putting it into their feed? Oh, that's different than is it just popular? Now it has to be relevant. So the algorithm moved away from popular to now relevance. And it does it by reading your profile, looking at your posting history, looking at what you do with your thumbs and likes, all of that. So it's a completely different engine. Okay, so let's talk about what that looks like. You put out a post on LinkedIn. Here's now what happens. The first thing it does is look at your LinkedIn profile. That's the first thing it does. It reads your LinkedIn, it reads your about section to see if you have credibility. And if you don't have an about section, then you don't have any credibility. And if you have an about section that reads like the cover letter of a resume, then it thinks you're looking for a job. It's reading your about section as if you were making a pitch to someone about the value of your topic authority. It's then going to read your post itself. Is this promotional? Is this informational? Is this useful? And does it align with their LinkedIn about section? And then LinkedIn's going to read the comments. What are people saying on this post? Are they adding to the conversation? Or are they just giving you a bunch of congrats attaboys? And then it's going to look at your network. Who you connected to? Who's commenting? Not just what they said, but who are they? And then it's going to look at your engagement patterns. And this is where it's really different. You now have a context window. A context window that LinkedIn is building around you. This context window is used to determine two things: what you see in your feed and who sees your content in their feed. So let me explain how this context window works. The last 1,000 things you have done on LinkedIn goes into this context feed. This context feed is then used by the AI to determine what you like to talk about, who you like to talk to, the topics and your interactions. So if you're giving a thumbs up or a repost to a whole bunch of different people, LinkedIn's like, oh, you probably want to see more of that content. We'll go ahead and start taking more of that content. Oh, and by the way, we'll probably start to try to figure out some commonality of who should see your content based on your likes and your reposts and your comments. And if they're not focused, the AI engine is like, we're not sure who to show this to. And all of a sudden your impressions drop because the lack of consistency is causing LinkedIn to get really confused about who should see your content. I'm going to pause there because this is a radical change, and this context window means that you can influence it, but it also means we kind of maybe have to change our behavior on LinkedIn. Questions or thoughts, comments? And there's a whole lot of us, so I can't see everybody's hand. If you go ahead, shout it out.
First thought was, well, crap, this is scary. And the second thought is, oh, this really shows the need for being specific with your niche and staying in your lane.
Staying in your lane. LinkedIn is a business media, not social media. Yeah. And so if you're trying to drive business with your LinkedIn, you need to stay in your lane so that you're showing up in front of the people who want your business, want to hire you, and you're showing up with the people that you want to see their content so that you can engage with them. So Don, you're exactly right. Troy?
When you say the last 1,000 last actions that you took on LinkedIn, obviously that includes likes and comments and all that. Does that also include viewing someone's profile?
It sure does. So nobody asked me what makes up that 10% test group. And I'm going to answer that with Troy's question. And that is, have any of you looked at somebody's LinkedIn profile that you're connected to in the last couple of days? Has anybody done that? You looked at somebody's profile? Yeah. And all of a sudden, boom, in your feed is whatever they're doing. Yeah. You've shown extreme interest. They go to the top in your context window and they go to the top of your 10% test group. Have any of you connected with someone on LinkedIn recently in the last week or so? Oh, yeah? Guess what? They're also at the top of your context window, and they're also at the top of that 10% group because you're showing extreme interest. And not only that, but if you're scrolling and you see somebody's content and you skipped it, meaning you just went right past it, it notices that too. That goes into your context window. Oh, they didn't stop to look at that content. Okay, so let's de-emphasize that person's content or that topic because they don't seem to be interested in it. So yes, looking at DMs, looking at people's profiles, connecting with people, liking, commenting, reposting, sharing, all of those are going into this context window. Next, Linda. Linda, I really appreciate that question, but you have to come off mute.
Sorry. So my question, I think you might have just answered it. My question was, does DMing or having actual conversations in the chat with people count? Because I'm talking to people in there all the time.
Yes, it does. And so if you're talking to people all the time, you might see that there's content showing up in your feed all the time. Yes. Dawn, you still have your hand up. Do you have another question?
I do. So if I lived in a house and I wanted to move to another house, that first house is no longer part of anything active. The stuff I did on LinkedIn a long time ago, and I've not done anything there for a while. How do you get out of the old house? And
you don't have to worry about that, because if you haven't done anything in a long time, the context window is constantly filling up with the most recent things you've done. So let's suppose I was training a gentleman. He'd just come out 20 years of the Marine Corps, and he was in tech sales. And he's like, Richard, my whole network is all of these Marines. I can't sell to them. It only takes about a week to 30 days of concerted, focused effort of commenting, liking, engaging for that context window to fill up. And now all of that old stuff goes away. So you don't have to pick up and move. LinkedIn's going to show up at your house, 1-800-GOT-JUNK, and it's going to clean it out and move you to the next one.
Brilliant.
Yep. Jeff.
Yeah, I think you just answered it. I'm getting a ton of speakers in my feed, which is great because I'm a speaker, except that's not my client base. And so I think that idea of taking the next 30 days and really concentrating on blasting through clients, focusing on client interactions and that kind of content is going to be much more useful.
Absolutely. Event planners. I mean, you can do it real quick by just going to LinkedIn. Here, you know what? I'm going to share my screen real quick. I'm just going to show you an example, because LinkedIn's also changed their search engine. So we're going to go back to LinkedIn. And just so you know, we're just way off topic. You'll notice that the slide stays because we just start talking. So here we go. We're going to talk. I'm going to say, I'm looking for, you know, this has changed. I'm looking for, hang on, event planners in the San Francisco, which is where I live, San Francisco Bay Area. And what's it going to do? Oh, hey, here's a Bay Area event planner, flock gatherings. Here's catering and events, the Pacific Union Club. Here's director of event planning. Wow, show more results. Wow, there's 10 per page. That's 100 people. All of a sudden, simply by doing that search and looking at those profiles, LinkedIn's like, oh, Richard seems to be interested in event planners. Maybe I should find some more content around that. And that was just simple. That was just like, oh. Okay, I'm going to do a side thing here. Would you like to see how to track those important event planners and contacts you have so you don't have to keep looking them up so you can comment and engage with them? Would you like to see that?
Yes.
Okay. And then before I do that, Connor, you got your hand up. What do you got?
Just specifically on those event planners, if I clicked on each of their profiles, 100 of them, which is 100 of the 1,000 last actions, is LinkedIn going to give me more content related to event planners then? Or am I just playing with the system?
No. It will now see that you are actively looking at event planners. It will now start to find content that is more tied to event planners and what they talk about to put into your feed. And it will increase the likelihood that your content will now start to show up in their feed.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Now, let me show you how to easily save. Let's suppose it's event planners. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. Okay, we're going to play with this. I'm going to use your names, but let's suppose it was event planner. So I'm going to go back up here. I'm going to start over. I'm looking for, and I'm just going to hit the enter key. Boink. Ignore whatever comes up. What comes up? She always comes up. That's 6 years old. I see her all the time. Next, I don't care about Shay. She's not an event planner. She's a poser. I'm going to look for posts. I don't care who the post. Oh, it's Shay again. Okay, I still don't care. I'm now going to slide over here. Whoa, here we go. From member. I want to keep track of some members. I'm going to start with, let's see who we've got on here. Let's start with Jeff Rogers. Oh, there we go. I'm going to track that guy. Boom. I click on it. You'll notice it. Put his name and put a checkbox. I'm going to look at, I want to track Dawn. Oh, there she is. I'm going to click her. Bam. I don't have to be connected or nothing. I'm going to try Dave here. Dave Aaron. Oh, that's a tough one. Oh, which one? Dave, is this you? No, that's not you. Is that you? No. That one.
There's a lot of me.
There's a lot of Daves. Do you see you?
No.
You see you?
Oh, there. I'm toward the bottom of that
Right there?
That's me.
There we go. Boom.
He's the mixer for Snoop Dogg.
Got it. And I'm going to try, let's try Hayden. Now. I'm going to try one more. Hayden here. Hayden Shaw. Oh, that looks like I help organizations cut their turnover. Okay. I'm guessing that's him. Is that you, Hayden? Perfect. Notice it's building this list. I'm going to do one more. I got Linda here. Linda. Oh, I'm guessing that's her. She's a financial wellness speaker. Well, that was easy. That's who I'm looking for. Boom. So I built this list. Now I'm going to click on the show results. I can put about 10 people in this. I'm going to show results. All right. So it's showing me from Jeff 2 weeks ago. It's showing me Linda from 3 months ago. Well, that's not useful. I want to sort by latest. Show the results. What's the latest? Oh, there we go. Linda put something out 2 hours ago. Perfect. And then Dave here put something out 4 hours ago. This is the latest. I'm not done yet. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right up here, woo, and I'm going to click bookmark. And I'm going to call this Illinois. How do you spell that? IL, NSA. That's how I spell it. Group. And I'm going to click done. All right. So now what happens? Well, guess what? Tomorrow morning, I come into my Google and I come over to my bookmarks. And it's and I come down here. You guys can't see it. It's all the way down here. You can't see it because it's off the screen. I'm going to click on right here. There's down the bookmark. You can't. Can I make it here? You know what? Whatever I just did, that didn't work. Let's see if this works. Nope. Okay. All the way down here is your group. You can see I do a whole lot of these groups, but I'm going to click on it. So what's going to happen? What's going to happen is it's going to fill in all that filter for me. And now, every day, I can keep track of these high-profile people that I think are really important, that I want to pay attention to, and I don't have to keep looking them up. Because now they're bookmarked, and I can do one for event planners in the San Francisco Bay Area, and then I can do another group for CEOs of tech companies, and then another group, right? So you could have, like I have dozens. I do a lot of training on this. Is it clear what I just showed you?
Yes. And does that still, those count as actions then, right? So when you go back to this and you look at those people, it's going to show LinkedIn that you were engaged with these individuals more frequently?
That's exactly right. Jeannie's asking the question about Sales Navigator. Sales Navigator can do this much more powerfully. And so even to some degree easier, although that was pretty easy. But if you don't have Sales Navigator, which is an expensive platform, if you're not using it effectively, this is a quick and easy way to kind of work around that. So Jeannie, great question. Okay. How much more time do we have?
Not enough.
Not enough. We still have 40 minutes or so? Okay.
Yep, you're good till, 50 minutes.
Perfect. You know, I was asked to speak at the, before I even knew NSA or anything, Shep Hyken, some of you might know Shep Hyken, that name. Shep's a dear friend, and Shep and I have known each other for many years, and I didn't know what NSA was. And Shep's like, hey, you need to come speak to our, what's it called, $1 million mastermind, something like that. So Patricia Fripp was there, and
$1 million roundtable.
That's what it is, $1 million roundtable. I'm like, okay, I don't know. Sure, I'll show up. I go. And it's a bunch of people. Dan Burris is there, and a bunch of people that I did not know. I was not impressed. Ray, not Jay. Jay Bauer. Is that how you pronounce his name? Anyway, you can tell. So Bear, thank you. I'm going along and I'm presenting to these folks. Jason Dorsey's there, and they're all listening, just like you are. And we get done at about the 2 hour mark. And I said, okay, you guys had enough? And they're like, no, keep going. I'm like, oh, okay. So I go for another hour. You guys had enough? No, keep going. And I'm like, holy cow. At about the 4 hour mark, a couple of things were kicking in. One, I was hungry. Two, nature was calling because I was on my feet for 4 hours as these folks, they just kept saying more and more. So anyway, you guys are much politer than they were. No, don't tell them that. Don't tell them that. Okay.
Can I ask a quick question before we move on?
Who's that? Who's asking?
This is Jeannie.
Jeannie, sure.
Yes.
You haven't used up your quota like Christine, so go ahead. Yeah.
When you showed the search, one of the questions I would have is like, how do we make sure we're showing up in that search when people are looking for specific things? And I am also a LinkedIn learning instructor.
Yep.
So are there ways that I can optimize that? And I don't want to derail the conversation for everybody else, but if there are tweaks there.
Yeah, on the LinkedIn Learning, I have no insight on that. On the how do you show up in that search? Yes, the way to show up in that search is to begin changing your behavior on LinkedIn to fill up your context window and to also change your profile. And that's what we're going to talk about right now. So that's an excellent question.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. You're welcome. Here we go. Let's talk about that right now. The first thing that LinkedIn's really going to look at is your LinkedIn profile. So your profile is where it's going to start to unlock. And yet the challenge is that, here's an example. And I talk to salespeople a lot. You get a connection request from someone. You are looking at an event planner. Okay. You're going to do an event planner just like we looked up. What are you looking at on their LinkedIn profile? You're going to this event planner. They don't know you. What are you looking at on their profile? Help me out.
About. Yeah.
Okay. You're reading their about section. What else are you looking at?
Title.
Okay. What else are you looking at?
Their posts.
Picture.
Post. Anything else? Featured section. Why are you looking at all of these things on their LinkedIn profile? This event planner who does not know you. Why are you looking at their stuff?
Learning about
know who their clients are.
Yeah.
You're looking who their clients are. You're learning about them. For what purpose?
Validating their authenticity, their real identity.
Sure. And why are you looking for their authenticity and their identity?
To reach out.
For a conversation.
To connect.
To reach out to have a conversation. For what purpose?
How can they help me?
How can I help
What is
them?
the point of looking at all their content and having a conversation with an event planner? What is the outcome you're hoping for? You want them to hire you.
Yeah.
Right? That took us a while to get there. You're looking at all of that so that they will hire you. And so you're looking for a commonality, a door, something that will open that door. And yet, you are sent a connection request by somebody you don't know. Do you look at their LinkedIn profile? Yeah. So now, somebody you don't know has sent you a connection request. What do you look at on their profile?
I just do a quick look. Their heading, where they're from, how many other connections they have.
And Linda, why are you looking at that information?
To know if they're relevant to me. I had somebody send me a request today and I looked and they had one connection. And I just ignored it. I hit ignore because I was like, why are they reaching out to me if they haven't even reached out to the 10 people they know the best?
Right. And Dean just said it. Are they trying to sell you something? Because we've all been there. You accept that connection request and then bam, you get pitch slapped, right? It's like, dang, why did I accept that connection request? So you're looking at their profile to open the door. They turn around and look back at your profile for an excuse to close the door. The last thing we need is another irrelevant friend on LinkedIn. This is not Facebook for business. So your profile becomes your calling card long before you talk to anybody. And there's several things involved with it. Your banner, your profile picture, your headline, and your about section. These are the key ingredients that are being used to look at that. And so if we were to stop right now, by the way, am I sharing my screen? Okay, perfect. If we were to stop right now and look at your profile, what would we see? So normally, I just randomly go and start grabbing people's profiles and throwing them up there on the screen. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let you volunteer, or you can volunteer somebody else. Who would like me to look at their LinkedIn profile? Okay. You got to drop. Okay. Everybody's hand goes up. Okay. First person to drop it into the chat. That's where I need to go look. Who's going to be first? There we go. Angela, you got it. Here we go. We're going to go look at Angela. Let me share my screen. And we're going to break this down. We're going to take a quick look at Angela. Is this okay? You all can see this. Okay, perfect. Well, maybe not. I can't see it. There we go. We're going to look up Angela. Angela, hang on. And Angela, what was your last name? I was looking for there. Nelson. Oh boy.
There's
okay.
a lot of them.
So
I also have CHT after my name.
Okay. So there's a whole lot of Angela Nelson. So she's got CHP, you said?
CHT.
CHT?
I'll drop it into the chat.
Okay. What's the name of your company?
Coach Angela Nelson.
Coach. Oh, look at that. As soon as I typed in your company, it popped up. So now, from here, let's do a quick analysis. The photo that we see on your screen right now, if I have met Angela in person, does that look like Angela? What do you guys think? What do you think?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. It's like, oh, okay, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good picture. It's tiny, but it's on a mobile device. I'm probably on my mobile phone anyway. Angela Nelson, CHT. I have no idea what CHT means. For high-performing leaders. Do I know what she does? Not really. But I did put in coach, so that must be somewhere. So I'm going to click on it. So let's take a look. The photo. When your mind really gets to rest, more strategy won't solve it. You're ready for steadiness, clarity, confidence, and calm. We have white on a pale white on a mobile device. It's like, okay, I'm probably not going to read that, but okay. We have a picture, excellent picture. Looks like her. It's well cropped, good picture. I can see her eyes, nice smile. For high-performing leaders whose minds really get to rest, hypnotherapist. I might flip that so that what you do is first and the value you bring is second, because it was hard. But that's not me. That's just a judgment call. So I have Coach Angela Nelson. That's the business over here. Let's take a look at Angela's about section. Your mind rarely gets to rest. You're capable, successful, responsible. What have we learned about Angela from those two lines? Yeah, I see the hands shaking. Nothing. We haven't learned anything. Now I'm going to click the see more button. And before I do, so Angela, I appreciate you volunteering. Before I do, how much more information should be there? Go ahead and put it in the chat. Let's have a conversation. How much more information should be here when I click the see more? Not what, just how much. Tell me, just pick a number. 2 sentences. CJ says 2 sentences. Who else?
200 words.
200 words. Okay, that's quite a bit different than 2 sentences. Anybody else?
I always fill up the whole thing as much as I can.
Linda fills up the whole thing. So we've got what can she do for me? I'm not asking what. I'm just asking for a number. So I've got one extreme, fill it up, and I got another extreme, 2 sentences. Where do we fall? Let's do a vote. CJ, 2 sentences or less is better. Be succinct. Anybody agree with that? You can put your hands up. Okay, there we go. Hands up. Fill it up. Just fill the whole thing up. Who agrees with that one?
I do.
Okay, a few hands go up. And then some people, I don't know what they're doing because they're not voting. And this isn't America. This is Australia. You're forced to vote. Okay.
Because they want to vote for 200 words.
They want to vote for 200 words. Okay. Now, I ask this question to thousands of salespeople, and the answer is always the same. Less is better. We don't want to waste people's time. We don't want to bore them. We don't want to be that person that just shouts, here am I, look at me. And yet, what's the one thing people are looking for when they click on the see more button? What do they hope to see?
More.
Thank you. I was waiting for that. More. So let's take a look at Angela. Oh, I got some more. I got quite a bit more. Good. The AI engine is now reading this. Let's see what it's learning about her. You're capable. People rely on you. But when the day is over, your mind's still going. You replay conversations. This is a productivity problem. It's a pattern. We've gone through this much of the information. Have we learned anything about Angela? Not a thing. A pattern of over responsibility, staying on. I know that pattern because I lived it. Okay, at this point, all of this is a setup, and I still don't know what she does. And now she's going to tell me a once upon a time story. And what I mean by that is she's now going to go back in time to tell me basically how she got here. My mind was constantly racing. I second guessed myself. What changed wasn't my strategy. I was working when that shifted, everything softened. I stopped spiraling today. So this is a once upon a time story. We still haven't got to what she does and the value she brings. Today, I work privately with, now we're there. Boom, boom, boom. This is the whole value statement. So I would say, take this, put it at the top, and then leave all the rest. Because now it's going to open saying, today I work privately with founders, consultants, executives, and decision makers who carry real responsibility and want their internal world to feel as steady as their external one looks. Through private hypnosis, I help you do this, 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 and this. I work with a small number of leaders at a time because depth of work deserves space. Your mind rarely gets to rest. You're capable, successful, responsible. All of a sudden, the value statement is at the top, and now the supporting structure is at the bottom. So my recommendation for all of you, and Angela has been a good volunteer, flip. Because the AI engine is going to read this part right here to figure out, are you credible? And so's your human. Because they're going to like, I have no idea what she does. Because they're not going to go all the way to the bottom. And so for all of you, I would recommend that you take a look at your profile. Okay, I'm going to do one more. And CJ, I saw CJ's hand go up. So I'm going to do CJ here. Let's jump over to CJ.
Now we'll find out if I even did my 2 sentences.
My gosh. All right, here's CJ Powers. Does that look like him? No. Does that look like him? No. Does that look like him? It sure does. It's nice. I coach leaders to increase their teams. I'm pretty clear. He's some kind of a coach with leaders to increase their teams pre something. That's not too bad. Let's take a look. I might back the photo off a little bit, CJ, because it's chopped the top of your head off.
Yep.
Right? Yeah, but it's a good looking photo. But I might back it off just a little bit. CJ Powers. Now, can any of you read all of that text?
With difficulty.
Can you read that text?
No.
Ish.
No.
And
especially on a mobile device. So I don't know what that now CJ Powers in his face, I see that, and it's a good looking picture and I like it. But all of this, it's busy. I'm on my mobile device. I'm like, I can't read that. So my argument is if you're going to put some words in here, make them strong, aggressive, and few as possible. You have people driving past your billboard on the freeway at 75 miles an hour, and they glance up at this billboard, and that's all you've got, a few seconds of their time.
Okay.
A few brief seconds, because they're going to come down. I coach leaders to increase their team's productivity using AI automation and proven communication strategies. Do we know what CJ does?
Yes.
Very clear what he does. We see Power Production Inc. and we see gray boxes. That's a broken link. Because if I go down here and I click on this, I wonder where I go. I can't even click on it. There's nothing to go to. I can go to Capgemini. I can go to whatever that one is. I can go to Motorola. But can I go to this? No. Click. No. So, CJ, this deserves a great company page.
Okay.
Now, let's go back up. Let's keep looking here because we've got, this is why that's important. CJ is an award-winning author and speaker who teaches leaders how to level up AI-driven world, and his signature talk, Irreplaceably Human, Mastering the Skills of AI Can't Replicate. CJ, who's talking? Are you talking in third person? I mean, is this the royal we? Right? This is the royal we. Yeah. We speak on this topic. It's like, as an award-winning author and speaker, I teach leaders how to level up in an AI-driven world. My signature talk is called Irreplaceably Human, Mastering the Skills of AI Mastering the Skills AI Can't Replicate. Now let's click the See More button. Wait, that's it? Oh my gosh, you had me. I introduced my proprietary 3 C's of soft skills framework: communication, connection, and collaboration. By the way, it looks like AI wrote that because it's got a bunch of M dashes and it's tripled like that. I don't know if you use Claude or ChatGPT to write that. Additionally, CJ reveals why employees struggle. How would we fix this? Well, one, here we go. We're recording this. As an award-winning author and speaker, I teach leaders how to level up in an AI-driven world. My signature talk, Irreplaceably Human, Mastering the Skills of AI Can't Replicate, is based on my years of experience working for some of the strongest brands on the planet. I've introduced and created a proprietary 3 C's of soft skills that allows leaders to be able to thrive when AI threatens to replace their role or the roles that they lead. I additionally reveal why employees are struggling to stay relevant amid automation and how mastering the 9 timeless principles. Those 9 timeless principles are the following: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And this empowers them to clarify ideas, engage relationships, and align activities for results. My extensive experience in leadership working for large organizations has allowed me to take this experience and apply it to organizations of all kinds, from retail to industry to construction to education. And with that time, I've been able to help build and people understand how AI today is not software, but it's an experience that allows and empowers our employees, unless we don't take the steps to remove the fear that comes with all of the uncertainty of what AI introduces today. Okay, I didn't do so well on that, but
actually a lot better than I did.
Well, actually a lot better than ChatGPT did. I'm guessing that's what. No, CJ, did ChatGPT help you with this?
No, we had a guest speaker that has a software thing that you
so
can...
soft, yeah. And so my team calls me Richard GPT, because what I just did was just like, okay, here. But you saw what I did for all of you, right?
Yeah.
And that is take what's written there, put right at the top, speaking to your audience, the value you bring. And by the way, we recorded that, CJ, so you'll be able to get a copy of that. But this is what I mean by each one of your profiles. Okay, I'm going to stop there. For my smaller workshops, we go through your profiles and break this down extensively, so you can kind of see how that works. All right, let's go back to our presentation, my PowerPoint, because we're going to run out of time if I don't get us back on track. Because up until this point, it's all been irrelevant. I mean, you guys haven't found any value in what I'm sharing. I got to get back what I prepared. I mean, I waste all my time preparing something and I don't even share it. Okay, we looked at your profiles. Take a look at these. Take a look at these about sections. Opening line, and this is what I did. I took the opening line and the last line. Executives and experts don't hire me to make them better speakers. Great speakers get promoted, make more money, and gain a competitive edge. Do we know anything about this individual themselves? We're assuming that they're a speaker coach of some kind, but no, we don't know anything. How about this one? Inspiring transformational change, executive performance coach. Really? That was the first line. My gift is helping CEOs, executives, experts who are at pivotal transition points, whether they're something. For speaking and media requests, please email Ripple Impact. Is somebody from Ripple Impact on this call? I apologize if I grabbed your. If you're running professional services at a Series B SaaS company, you know the pattern. Let's talk. Really? So again, I've taken the first line and the last line because that's what the AI is going to do. Launch your book like it's part of your business, because it is. Here's my thingies. Ever find yourself wondering? Okay, you guys got the point. So go back and look at your own about section and say, does it actually communicate something right up front? Stop touching the, okay. Here we go. Let's talk about your post content, because we all think that posting is the most important. Well, when it comes to posting, here's some winners that are happening right now. Documents and carousels. They've seen a 7% increase in reach and nearly 50% increase in engagement. What's a document or a carousel? Basically, it's a PDF. A PDF or a PowerPoint. You throw it up there, but don't fill it with 1,000 words of text. Single points. Make it like a slideshow. Articles and newsletters. We're back to it. They've been a huge increase, nearly 50% reach and 50% engagement. And then text and images. Images that are real images, or maybe you can use AI, but the image really has to be relevant. Troy, you're asking me a question. You just said AI grabs the first and last line of your about section. What's your recommendation for the last line? You can do a call to action, but I'll tell you what I do. On the last line, oftentimes I put something in there that's personally relevant. For example, I've set world records playing board games. What's the first question you think somebody's going to ask me when they read that? What's the first question you'd ask me when you've heard that I set world records playing board games?
What type of board games?
Right? What type of board games? Or what's your favorite board game? Or we play board games. Do you have a board game recommended? Yeah, at what age? Candyland? Thanks, Gary. Uh-huh. Really? Let's go look at Gary's profile. No, okay. Yeah, why have I set board records? Here's why. Now you've asked me the question. We're familiar with Kickstarter, crowdfunding, that type of thing. Many of you have heard of that. There are 500 new board games on Kickstarter looking for funding every 30 days for the last 14 years. $2 billion has been pledged to board games on Kickstarter alone. It has become one of the single most popular ways for young people in their 20s and 30s to interact. They don't go to bars anymore. They play board games. And we're not talking of video games. We're not talking about Scrabble or Risk or Monopoly, those games where you try to kill each other. We're talking about games that come together. Catan, Ticket to Ride, Carcassonne, all of these types of different games are now, well, all of a sudden, I had a client reach out to me because they said, wow, I loved what you were talking about board games. Can you come train us on LinkedIn? Really? That's what it works. So that's what I have. Something personal that captures that human. Yeah, you guys Chutes and Ladders. You guys are dating yourselves. Okay. Here are the format losers. Polls have seen a 70% drop. Video has seen a 35% drop in reach and a 23% drop in engagement. Now, when I say a loser, I mean being very specific. You can still use video, but just be aware that video does not drive a conversation. If you have 120 words of text with the video, the text drives the conversation and the video is supporting it. But video by itself can be very hard for people to engage with your video. I'm not saying don't use it. I follow a guy by the name of Daniel Pink. He's an author. He puts out a video, 2 or 3 videos a day. Well, I engage with it every day and comment on it every day. So I see a lot of it. But generally speaking, your video, talking head, saying something, people are just going to click the universal thumb, and move on. So that's why video has dropped. Yeah, Jen, he is the best. I love I got a chance to meet him. He signed some of my books. Text only. I still really prefer text only, but it has seen a 16% drop in engagement. The reach has stayed fairly steady. Here's the highest signals of value that the algorithm is seeing. Your content, if people save it, that's an incredibly high signal. And if they send it, now let's be clear, I'm not talking about resharing. I'm talking about going to the bottom of the post. Over on the right, it has the word send. If you hit the word send, it's going to bring up names of people you can individually send this to. If your content is so interesting that people save it to read later, or they send it to their friends specifically because they think it's valuable, that's a huge signal. We call that savability. So what makes your post savable? Well, here's some irony. And Brendan, you want to come off mute because that candy bar you're eating, we can hear it. Okay, so one of the things that you want to fix, I'm interested in the candy bar now. Links to resources. Now, I know I said a link is going to drop the reach, but if you have multiple links to multiple resources in a post, and then at the bottom say, hey, by the way, if you'd like to keep this, go ahead and save it. Click the 3 dots up there and click the save. You can come back to this. That actually overrides the penalty of the link in the post. So if you're going to put a link, let's say the podcast, you might want to say in the post at the bottom, by the way, if you'd like to save this and come back to it, just click the 3 dots and save this post. That will override the link penalty. Another thing is giving people action items. Here's a prompt to use for your link for your next Claude chat. To do this, save it, and they will save it, and then they'll come back to it. So saving your posts is a great way. And your speakers, you should be able to give them content that says, oh yeah, here are the 7 things you need to be doing. Click the save button so you can come back to this. That will override any of the negativity. This generally generates questions. What do we got? Do we see the signal data points as the author of the, do we see those signal data? Jeannie asked me to clarify the question for me.
Sorry, I wasn't sure how to phrase this. When I look at my post, excuse me, or anything analytics, I can tell if it's reposted. I can see who reposted it. I can see certain things. I'm not sure if I see if people are saving it or if they're sending it to individuals.
Great. Let's take a quick look. We're going to jump off this, and I'm becoming aware of the time. So just be aware that nobody panic. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go back and look at one of my posts.
Mm-hmm.
What's my last post? My last post was the Claude one. So let's just, let's take this one. So if we go to view analytics and we scroll down, I see that this post has been saved 4 times.
Got it.
Right there.
Okay. Thank you.
If you can get this number into the hundreds, now that's kind of hard, but I just had a conversation with a gentleman yesterday. He's breaking all the rules. And yet his posts are being saved by hundreds of people. Why? Because he's putting content together. People are like, oh, this is just good stuff. I need to save this. And because of that, he's now getting tens of thousands of people seeing his content because LinkedIn's like, wow, look at all these people who saved it. He only got 10 comments, but he got hundreds of people to save it. So that's one of the biggest challenges. Don, you've got your hand up.
So one thing that I've got for Lead Magnet in a different format has a simple 1, 2, 3 process. But during a presentation, I'll have a QR code and people can download it and I get their info. It's a fair trade. What I'm hearing with this is instead of any of that, give here's the 1, here's the 2, here's the 3, here's the action steps, save this for future use.
Yes.
And in theory, this also becomes my list, though I won't have emails. That's my LinkedIn list.
That's correct. And you won't know who saved it, but the next time you put out a piece of content, it's going to go in their feed because they've shown extreme interest in your content. And now LinkedIn will bubble them up to make sure they're seeing your content.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Let's move. Oh, my mouse is just a little tricky this morning.
Can you
yes.
How to get to the analytics? You just saw like too quick.
Yeah, let me go back and I'll show you real quick.
Part. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's jump back to Chrome. There we go. So I'm let me go back to my LinkedIn. Here I am. I go back and show my posts.
Okay.
I show all my posts. Okay, here's my last post. Right there is view analytics.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Now that's different. So this analytics is different. This is my newsletter. So when I click on my newsletter, it takes me here. This is a different analytics. So now this analytics tells me how many people have actually have seen the article, not just the post. Article views, 16,000. Impressions, 69,000. So this is confusing. And right now I'm actually confused slightly myself because it's telling me it's been seen by nearly 63,000 people. That means it showed up in their feed, in the email, but actually the people who that's what it means. The people who actually opened the article is nearly 17,000. And down here, it tells me how many people saved this one. 17 people saved this one.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Richard, just to clarify, you're saying that you put a link into a post and then at the bottom of the post, you say, if you save this, just if you ask them to save it, it overwrites the link. But second point is, I've seen also, if you don't mind, that if you put a comment immediately after you post and put the link into it that way, that it also is beneficial.
Yeah, LinkedIn penalizes you for doing that now. If you're putting that link and you're the first person to comment on your post, you're getting a penalty now.
Right.
But come back. No, if you say save this post and they actually save it, then it overrides the penalty.
Yeah. Okay.
Don, you still have your hand up. Did you still have a question? Okay. Let's talk about, what am I sharing? Am I sharing the power of commenting? Is that what you see? Okay, cool. We are all over the map. 100% of your comments, every comment you make gets shoved into a major portion of your network. And you're already seeing this. LinkedIn is showing you the impressions you're getting on your comments because it's your comments that's how you build and tell your story, not posting content. Your comments are where people see what you have to say. But unfortunately, this is what most of your comments say. Congrats. Thanks for sharing. Awesome. And yet that comment is going in front of hundreds and even thousands of people who are listening in. And you're missing an opportunity here to tell the story in front of them. So when you leave a comment, I recommend that you Basically, tag the author. Marty, you make a great point here with your post. One of the things I really liked about it was this, when you said this and this, because in my work, when I stand on stage and I talk to my clients, here's what I'm finding. I really like what you've done there. Now, Marty's going to see the comment, but so is a major portion of my audience. And guess what? If Marty comments back, Richard, I really think that you're right. This is a lot of interesting. Her audience is going to see my comment. Awesome. Means you can go comment on an event planner, comment on somebody else. And if they comment back, your comment, your profile is going to be pushed in front of the feed of those people. And if your comment says, awesome, thanks for sharing, you've missed a massive opportunity. Let me give you a quick little example. Jennifer is not a customer, not a prospect. New York Times, not a prospect of mine. So she made a post about Wordle, and I decided to make a comment to my audience, not to Jennifer. So I didn't tag Jennifer, but I left a comment. In today's world of digital first, where have we heard that term, digital first? Oh, somebody wrote a book called Digital First Leadership. Oh, yeah. It's great to see the written word having success. So often we're being told that video is the only way people engage. Oh, I've sat through Richard's presentation. He said something about that. Now, she got 86 likes on her post. Guess what? I got half of them. I got 40 on my comment. Oh, and she got 26 comments on her comment. Guess where a third of those comments went? To my comment. That means my post, my name, my headline got pushed in front of all of those people who I might not even know simply because they engaged with me in a conversation on somebody else's post. Here's another one. This one's slightly different. This is more sales directed. Your event planner left a post. In this case, John is a prospect. Danielle's the sales rep. She wants to get in front of John, and John doesn't know Danielle. He makes a post about cybersecurity. All right. Nobody posts content on LinkedIn hoping nobody sees it. So Danielle leaves a comment. John, you make a great point, and restate what John says and adds her own insights. There are 2 comments on that post. Danielle made the first one. Who do you think made the second one? John. Now suddenly a conversation's happening between the sales rep person and the prospect. Conversation's happening between the speaker and the event planner. And you haven't even brought up anything other than whatever was interesting to the person. Speaking of that, Leah and Kira work for me. Some of you may have heard Leah speak. She continues to speak to a lot of NSA groups around the country. Leah and Kira said, hey, there's a tech conference we need to go to. There's a whole bunch of our customers. I'm like, in Las Vegas? I have 5 daughters. Leah's my oldest daughter. She wants the company credit card to take her coworker to Las Vegas. Uh-huh. Well, what they did, yes, I sent them to Las Vegas. What they did, and by the way, for you speakers, can anybody identify which hotel this is based on the carpet? You're all speakers. Anybody want to take a guess?
MGM.
MGM? Nope, close.
I was
the
thinking
Cosmopolitan. Cosmopolitan.
Oh, okay.
I get Mandalay Bay a lot too, because I've been to that one a whole lot.
I was going to say
Cosmopolitan. Mandalay Bay, it looks like the Mandalay Bay as well. Okay. By the way, I was doing a conference at the Mandalay Bay during the shooting that happened with that concert. That was a very surreal experience. Anyway, sorry, side note. Okay. What they did is before the event, they identified 100 people that were prospects for our training. These are corporations that could handle our sales training. They identified them because, you sign up for an event, you get the list, and there's all those names. So what they did 2 weeks leading up to the event, they started commenting, following 3 rules. Rule number 1, don't talk about the conference. Rule number 2, don't talk about our services. And rule number 3, don't send a connection request. Now that sounds really odd for salespeople who are trying to influence customers. And yet, all they did for 2 weeks was comment on the post of whatever was interesting to the prospect. Bernard, this is such an incredible movie. I have no idea what movie Bernard was talking about, but Kira read the post and commented. Leah's talking to Amisha. Amisha's talking back about data-driven stuff. Lauren, I love this post. Kira's talking to Joseph. Leah's talking to Jim. On it went for 2 weeks. They walk into the event. Leah says she felt like a rock star. Leah, Kira, it's so great to meet you in person. Now, here's a question. Of the 100 prospects, What percentage of the 100 people generated, initiated, or accepted a connection request? Of the 100 people, what percentage? Who wants to guess? Of the 100 people, what percentage accepted? Is it in the chat? Does somebody guess it? Does somebody? 90? Oh, come on. Of the 100 people, 10%, Angela? No, of the 100 people.
100.
Thank you. Thank you, Corin. Thank you. That's like the teacher stamping his foot. It'll be on the test. 100% accepted or initiated a connection request. Every single one. And of the 100, 30% accepted or initiated a sales call follow-up. Think about that. 100% of your prospects are willing to reach out, are willing to accept a connection request. Why? Because they had built the relationship beforehand through commenting. They had used the commenting to give to the relationship before they asked for anything. And then it was just natural. Sure, I know you. We've been talking about my favorite movie. My advice to you is to build a relationship with your event planners, your speaker bureaus by commenting and engaging in their conversations. Don't worry about posting. Worry about commenting. Okay, we've got about 10 minutes left, right? Just nod ahead. It's about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, about that? Just perfect. Okay. I'm going to shift gears slightly. Let's talk AI.
Richard, quick question.
Yeah.
You mentioned engaging these people in the comments about things like their book and things that are important to them. And my question is, what does that do for the algorithm as far as now you're talking about things that aren't in your wheelhouse, in your authority? Does that detract?
It balances because remember, it's not just what you're saying, but who you're saying it to and whatever they're talking. So this is an event planner and maybe they said something about events and you're like, hey, I really like what you're saying here about this event because I know that in my case, when I go to an event, when the event planner takes care of this, it makes such a big difference. I love what you're saying here because it's so applicable. Well, okay, that's a comment that's kind of woven in the fact that you are a speaker and this is what you do.
Great.
Now, if they're just randomly talking about a movie like Kira in this case, yeah, you're now talking about a topic that's not necessarily your authority, but you're talking to someone who you do want to influence. And so you'll kind of try to find that balance. So that's an excellent point. Let's talk AI real quick before we wrap up. I use AI heavily. I use Claude. You should too. Even if you're using ChatGPT, you should switch over to Claude. I do a course on this with speakers on how to do that, but it's incredibly important. I use Claude, my AI, in 3 different iterations. I have Claude as my chief of staff. I have Claude as my editor-in-chief, and I have Claude as my chief counsel. My chief of staff remembers everything. It pushes back on things and it holds me accountable for things. For example, I was talking to it the other day and I'm like, hey, Claude, let's do some work. And it came back and said, this was live in front of a bunch of clients, about 20 people. Richard, your active items file is 16 days stale. Before we do anything, we need to run the capture protocol to bring it current. I said, let's ignore that. Claude said, no. Literally said, no. It said, Richard, your capture file is 16 days. We need to read the capture. We don't skip this step unless something's on fire. So what's the fire? And I'm like, serious. Here, let me show you just live what I'm talking about. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. And so I'm going to show you my Claude and the way that it talks to me. Let me pull it up. Where is it? Claude. Here it is. So I'm going to share this with you. And this becomes part of when you're creating content on LinkedIn. It's important that you're not just copying and pasting. All right, here's my Claude. We're in my chief of staff. Hey, let's get some work done. I'm in front of an NSA group, and I want to show your ability. Let's see what it says. This is my Claude, and it's like, it's thinking hard. Shouldn't be that hard. It's thinking, it's calibrating. Good morning, Richard. Before we engage on anything, I need to flag a protocol issue. Your active file is stale. Oh, it's still stale. So here's the call. Do you want to run the capture protocol now to bring active items current before we do anything? Or if something is on fire that needs to jump the line? Which capture immediately? One or the other. Not both deferred. Why can't I defer both? Why can't I defer both? I wonder what it's going to say. So this is my chief of staff. And my chief of staff runs a capture file. So every morning, and I've been on a holiday out of the country, so that's why it's stale. But it goes through my emails. It goes through my chat sessions. It goes through my calendar. It goes through my projects. It goes through my proposals. Because that's how things break, Richard. If you defer both, here's what's actually going to happen. You're going to walk out of this session feeling productive because we knocked down whatever task you threw at me. But the stale file is still stale. The commitments I don't know about are still invisible. And the next time a client calls asking about something you promised them, neither of us will have it. Okay, fine, thanks. So pick one. Okay, let's stop that example. Okay, it's being mean to me. Let's not do that example. That's my chief of staff. Its job is to do exactly what you saw it doing. And that is to hold me responsible, to push back, to tell me what my projects are, to tell me who I've made a promise to. Tell me, hey, you've got a presentation tomorrow for the NSA. They need your slides. Have you finished that? So it's that kind of activity that my chief of staff does. My editor-in-chief, on the other hand, is very different. My editor-in-chief holds my voice. It drafts everything for me. I work with it. And it does self-audits to make sure that it's not writing in its voice. I have an AI tell, so it's not doing the things that an AI would do, that it's doing the things that I do. And so it holds basically really three things. My voice file, it has my rules that says, hey, no M dashes. I need an insight before the story. Here's phrases I never use. It's got a sample library of my books, my articles, my podcasts, posts that I've done, everything to do a pattern match on how I sound. And then it has persistent instructions that load every time. So it already knows who I am, what we left off on, the conversations we've already had, the things I've already written, and where I can pick up on an article I'm writing or something I'm doing for a presentation. All of that's there. And then my chief counsel, this one's a little tougher because my chief counsel is designed to break my arguments. And what I mean by that is it doesn't take anything for granted. If I ask it to look at some data, the first thing it's going to do is throw away any consensus and any assumptions and attack it. It refuses validation. Just because everybody says that's the way it is, it's like, I don't believe it. And then what it does, it helps me tie in different disciplines, whether it's board games or science, or you saw that post I had done earlier about Claude acting as an atheist to analyze the book of Genesis. My chief counsel and I worked through that one, where I said, I'd like you to look at Genesis. And it says, okay, well, the consensus says this is what Genesis is. I said, we're not going to pay attention to the consensus. I need you to be an atheist and just analyze it from the data that you see in front of you. That kind of conversation is what my chief counsel does. Or this one. Claude said, hey, Richard, your recent call with Stephanie, was that revenue generating? I said, go look at the transcript. You'll see my call with Stephanie. I don't have to answer that. And it said, Claude said, I noticed you're redirecting me to evidence rather than answering the question directly. Was this week's work paid or unpaid? Because Claude keeps telling me that I'm spending too much time giving my time away for free. Nothing against you guys, but it's going to chew me out because I had this NSA briefing and nobody paid me. Just so you know, that's what its job is. All right. So this is how I use AI, and I use it heavily. So that gives you an idea. As we move forward, I'm going to wrap up with this. Homework. Here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Right now, I'd like all of you to go into your LinkedIn, and there's a big blue box in the upper left-hand corner that has the word in it, I-N. Now, this is, I assume you're on your computer because I can see you. There's a big blue box. I want you to click that box. Your face will appear, and two numbers will appear below it. Profile viewers and something impressions. In the chat, I'd like you to drop in the number of profile viewers, that whatever that number is. So follow my instructions. Click on the big N. Okay, we got a wide range here. We got 166, 135. Let me make this bigger so I can see some of this. 599, 41, 12, back and forth. 112, 56, 492. Okay. What is that number? That profile viewer number tells you how many people, Jeannie, is that impressions or profile viewers? That 1830.
Profile viewers.
Okay. That number, let's ignore Jeannie for right now. That number tells you how many people have found you interesting in the last 90 days. So in the last 90 days, about 20 people a day are finding Jeannie interesting enough to look at her profile. That's pretty good. Jeannie, have you done anything recently to drive that kind of attention to your profile?
LinkedIn is my main kind of channel, but I'm also launching a book on Tuesday. So we're talking a lot about that. I'm doing a ton of podcasts and stuff.
Got it. So people are checking you out on LinkedIn, and that's what's going on. The rest of you, Jenny, you and Lavis, you guys have got an opportunity to be most improved. I like that with your numbers there. So here's what that number is. Not impressions, Laura. We're not looking for impressions. We're looking for profile viewers. That's the number we're looking at. So here's your homework, folks. 711. So you're getting about 8 people a day looking at your LinkedIn profile. Why is that important? Because that is indicating how many people have found you interesting enough to go look at your profile. And remember what I said, if they look at your profile, that shows extreme interest, that changes their context window, meaning that you'll probably start to show up in their content much more. And if they're a first degree connection, guaranteed the next thing you post on LinkedIn shows up in their feed. Guaranteed. You don't even have to tag them. So here's your homework. I'm going to ask that all of you, I have no idea today's Friday. So starting Monday, I'm going to ask you to leave 3 comments a day, kind of like how I've taught you. And I just wanted to do it next week. Leave 3 comments a day the way I've taught you. Add value. Engage with the person. And then you can do it with your company and colleagues. You can do it with people in your industry, but then you're going to get a whole lot of, or you can do it with 2nd and 3rd degree connections, meeting planners and speaker bureaus and the people you want to see you show up. Now, here's what's going to happen. If you add value to those conversations, that number you just showed me is going to jump. It's going to jump. Let me show you an example of one of my clients who took me up on this. You can see how many people were looking at their profile every day, every week, as they just posted content and gave it the universal thumb. And then they did nothing but leave 3 comments a day for a week. More people looked at their profile that week than had in the previous 90 days combined. So some of you who have a smaller number, all you have to do is start showing interest in other people, and you will become interesting to other people. And this becomes one of your strongest indicators that you're doing a good job of getting you out in front of the audience. All right. We're at the top of the hour. We're at the bottom. So I send out, some of you are on this, about 1,000 people subscribe. I send out tips about LinkedIn. I sent one out day before yesterday or yesterday. You can send a text to this number. Put in hashtag NSA. It'll drop you into a category. It's going to ask your age. I don't care your age. The government wants to know if you're over 13. So if you're lying about your age, don't make yourself younger than 13. I'm not a judge. Just telling you. But I will send out tips on a regular basis. You can text me, but I don't look at it that often, about once a week or so. It's not my cell phone. If you want my cell phone, I can give you my cell phone. But this is just a text tips, and there's about 1,000 people right now who subscribe to this. So this, take a screenshot. You can follow up on that. In addition, here is a QR code. Tell you what, let me give you a link instead. That might be easier if I have it over here. That you can get a copy of the presentation. Also, I mentioned I have some training coming up on both the AI and LinkedIn. I'm grabbing, by the way, I'm just trying to grab the link so I can drop it in if you guys want to do that. Let me link, customize. Hang on. I got to grab the code. Copy. Let's see if I click on it. Where's it go? Oh, you know what? I'm just going to do that. I'm going to drop into the chat. Sorry, I got to find the chat. This code. So you either can take a picture of it or I can drop it in the chat. I'm all over the map here. Here we go. I think that will take you to the form. It'll bypass the bit.ly side. Okay. And that way Oh, Jeannie, you get the tips. They're great. I have to go to my next meeting, but this has been so valuable. Thank you. You are welcome. I'm glad. And by the way, I just want to express my appreciation to Jeannie and all of you with the universal sign of appreciation. Thank you all for how much you've done today. To everybody. Here's my contact information if you'd like more information. And Martina, I'm going to turn it back over to you because this has been a lot of fun. We've been all over the map. We got through the slide deck a little quick at the end, but you guys had some great questions. We've got the recording, and I will stick around for a couple of more minutes if anybody wants to go, but I realize we're at the top of the hour. And so Martina, I'll turn the time back over to you.
Well, wow. I just want to say thank you. And I'm really glad that we actually had the slides. I wonder if you made them last night because they were more effective than interpretive dance, but
I could do that too.
Thank you, Richard, for being here with us. We're going to, I love start on time, end on time. It's so valuable. We want to respect everybody's time today. So we just have a couple of things to say goodbye. And the first thing is to remember that we've got the accelerator to kind of chew on this and review and to talk and to support each other and to continue learning and to find out what we're all finding out about Richard Bliss and his content with Dean Hefta next week, the 16th. Mark your calendars, 5 o'clock. So we have just a couple minutes together. And you know what, Richard? It's so early and you spent your time with us. We understand you've got to go because we're just being our little group now. And with one last thank you, but
all right.
So thank you so much.
Appreciate it, everybody. Feel free to reach out if there's any questions I can answer. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you, Richard.
Yeah, next time we have to do it in person.
Bye.
Yeah, there's that field trip. I'm up. Let's go.
All right. Take care, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.
Wow. Awesome. And it's so valuable I so appreciate him giving his time to us at NSA Illinois. Thank you. We have a couple minutes, and what we always do at our meetings for our new members and guests is this little opportunity to pop your collar, which means, guess what happened to me? We get to applaud one another. So since our last meeting, what have you experienced that really turned out well that we can just applaud and celebrate? And those that participate, Terry told me I've got a $25 Starbucks gift certificate that gets shot out to you in the mail. So there's a couple of them I have who'd like to participate and pop your collar with us. Oh, don't be shy. Oh, Troy, go.
I attended the International Law Enforcement Educators and Trainers Association conference in St. Louis that gathers the top trainers from across the world, and I was invited to give a 9-minute presentation. They only ask 6 people a year to do it, and it was one of the hardest things I have ever done with regards to, I have done 45-minute presentations, 2 hours, I could teach for 8 hours, but to condense a presentation into 9 minutes where you are able to connect with the audience, get them emotionally involved, deliver something insightful, and then leave them motivated all within 9 minutes was an exercise that was extremely challenging, but very rewarding. And it worked out really well. If y'all are interested, I could put the link. They actually posted the video. I could put it in the chat if you guys want to see.
Love it. Would you do that? Absolutely. Thank you. Congratulations, Troy. Thanks for sharing. CJ, pop your collar.
I had an opportunity to take a risk. There was a company I've been working with on and off for a while who was absolutely frustrated because they have a monthly Zoom meeting for their extended membership, and it usually takes them 3 to 6 weeks to get the reports out to everybody saying, here's what happened in the meeting, and oh, by the way, we hope you paid attention during the meeting because 3 days later we had to send stuff to our senators and representatives. Well, I decided to use AI to create a report based on the show itself. So I automated it, and the moment their show ended, it created a transcript. It then summarized the transcript. It built a web page. It loaded it in the web page, and then it sent notices out to people, and there was the finished web page. Well, the company has decided they need that every month now. So it's a great little thing. Taking a risk sometimes pays off big time.
Excellent. Congratulations. The benefits of over delivering. Awesome. Karen.
Yeah, some of you most probably know I've been all over the place the last 2 months, and one of the highlights was last week I spoke at the SHRM Illinois Student Conference, and it was so rewarding to see these young faces, our future leaders, being so engaged. I did a session on energy leadership, and I had 60 to 70 people in the room. It was standing room in the back, and really great to see the connections they made, the comments I got afterwards, and they were not on their phone for a whole hour and engaged.
Oh, that's thrilling. That is awesome. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Karen. Dave, are you there? Did Dave? Oh,
Me?
Dave.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello. I'm here.
Lay it on us.
No, this I'm still guest status, but I just want to mention the comfort level of everybody in this room is so admirable. And I was at the last speaker standing event a couple of weeks ago, and all of my thoughts and ideas now come in 5-minute segments, and I'm just I'm just totally engaged and excited about what I've been seeing, and looking forward to the next event.
Oh, that is us. Thank you for sharing, Dave. I really appreciate that. We as a community are finding new ways to connect, and one of the ways we're doing that is with these coffees that we're having. So there are opportunities to connect as individuals, to talk about what's happening, to talk about what we're experiencing, we're sharing. It's just a really wonderful opportunity, and I encourage you to give them a try. We're just really starting this. There's one in Barrington, and that one is on the 20th of this month. There's one in Oak Park, if that's near you. That's on the 28th. And then we do a virtual. That's on the 15th. And that is 1 hour. And we're talking in the virtual one, what are you working on, struggling with, thinking about, and how can we help? And then everyone gives everyone else's experience and ideas. We want to make that a super productive 1 hour. And the next one, if you want one near you, why not? There's nothing that it takes except your decision to do so. And your decision to have a coffee meetup, I should say, with NSA members that does not commit you to from now till forever. So the Barrington, the Oak Park, we love it. We're keeping going. If you want to give this a try, maybe it'll be right for you and a great way to connect. We just get that started. So I do hope that you'll join us.
Are the details on the website?
The details,
like the time and location?
Yep. Right now it goes out on the Facebook, the private NSA Illinois Facebook page. Okay. And then I have one email a month because I do not want to overwhelm inboxes. One email goes out from me announcing the dates, times, and places for all these. So if you don't have that easy, just reach out to me, Martina, and I'll get that to you. And the last is the Talkadot. Here's our Talkadot for today. A lot of us are using Talkadot. You might be curious, interested. What is this like? What is the experience? Use this Talkadot, and it's the opportunity just to give the organization feedback about what you thought today. And if you're thinking about using Talkadot, and they do have a free service that you can use as a speaker, jump on this Talkadot, take a picture right now, or get on your camera, and you'll see what that experience is like. And maybe you want to use it, maybe you want to take advantage of it. Either way, we'll get some feedback from you about today. And we really value your time and appreciate you being here with us. So lastly, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for investing in yourself. Thank you for sharing yourself with NSA Illinois. And the next time we meet is going to be in person on May 8th. And for me, Martina, being part of the new member experience, we're going to be building that up. And so if you'd like to work with me, this is going to be an opportunity to do so on May 8th. So reach out. We need somebody to do a little more personal welcomes. We need somebody to take pictures. We're going to be doing some things. If that sounds like fun to you, reach out to me. Meanwhile, I just love that you're here. Thanks. Thanks everyone for participating, and we are officially adjourned. Bye.
Thank you, Martina.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, Martina, for having me. This is such a valuable session, and I gained so much, and it's the great opportunity to meet many accomplished professional speakers here. Thank you.
Delighted to have you and the other guests here. Thank you so much for participating.
I will reach out to learn more about the coffee meetup.